Greetings viewers! In today's video, I'm going to tell you about my 5 favorite rackets on the market today. And the criteria for today's video is that I just really like the rackets personally. I just enjoy them. These are rackets either that I've reviewed and I've liked so much that I've refused to sell, or anytime my opponent brings one in their bag, I demand to hit it for at least 5 minutes. Some of these rackets are frames that I could definitely switch to, and other rackets are more of like sports car rackets for special occasions, probably ones you wouldn't want to hit all the time. Oh, also, this is in no specific order. It's just one. I like them all equally, except for 2. Which I'll tell you. This video is brought to you by Direct Tennis, my favorite app for connecting you to local stringers in your area. And to thank you for all your support this year, I'm partnering with Direct Tennis to give away a Dunlop FX series of racket. The winner of this giveaway will get to pick from whichever Dunlop FX racket they want. I really like just the normal FX 500. I think it's a great substitute if you like a pure drive, but you want some extra stability. Off-center stability on that thing is best in class. The 500 Tour is also pretty interesting. I think quite similar to the actual racket that Alexei Poprin uses, and he's one of my favorite players to watch personally. So to enter this giveaway, check out both the TennCom Instagram and the Direct Tennis Instagram. There's going to be a post. You want to like that post and tag 2 friends in the comments. An extra entry will also be added if you share the reel they're going to post on their story. And we're going to run this giveaway together for a week starting now. So it'll go until December 12th. So if you want to enter for a chance to win a Dunlop FX series racket, check out Direct Tennis's Instagram in the description below and get entered for a brand new ultra powerful racket that you're just going to be destroying all your opponents with. Thank you so much to Direct Tennis for the last year of unwavering support, and your support goes on far beyond that as well. Really looking forward to what we can do together for 2025. Happy New Year, everybody. Merry Christmas, and back to the video. So let's start off with the VCORE 95. These frames have been a guilty pleasure for me dating back to 2017. They're actually one of the only racket lines that I collect. You may think, oh, of course, you're a liar. You collect so much. Look at all the rackets behind you. And there's definitely not a bunch off camera as well. But I tried really hard not to stockpile them. Most of those frames were either gifts from people, which I don't like to sell my gifts, or they're frames that I've used in the past, like former rackets of choice for either me or Simon. So that's what most of those are. Not a lot of like just raw collecting going on there, but the VCORE 95 is a weakness for me, I will admit. I've got the 95D, which was also a gift, so I automatically can't sell that. The SV95, the Chapeau racket, a racket that I used previously. The 2018 VCORE 95, another one that I used previously. And then, of course, the most recent one, which is the 2023 VCORE 95. And it's definitely the most playable one, the one that would work the best for matches. This is more of a sports car racket for me. It's not one that I feel like I could really switch to. But of all these 95s, like, there's no way I ever want to sell any of them, because there's just something about this lineup of frames that really, really works for my game. I can pick them up, especially this 2023 version, and just find my groove any day of the week. Especially on the forehand side, it feels like there's no shot I can't hit. I can modulate my spin, I can find these curling banana shots up the line, I can go for devious little angles, I can slice this thing really nicely, or flatten out big power shots, and it works fine on my two-handed backhand. Not the best, but it's serviceable. So I just only think about my forehand when I hit with this thing. The hitting feel is really plush, it's so deep and connected, and the 16x20 pattern offers a lot more consistency than you find in like the VCORE 98, for example. Basically, all this means is anytime I pick up this VCORE 95, I'm laughing. I've got a smile on my face, and I think that's the whole point of rec tennis. Number 2 is the Prostaff 97. This is a racket that I really regret selling, the V14 Prostaff 97. So anytime I've got the chance to hit it, either Luca's doing a video, so he'll bring it along, or Jonas had one when we were in California. It's a racket that I go like, you gotta give me at least 5 minutes with that thing. It's awesome. You might think on paper, there's no way that racket works for you, Beckett. You're being a freaking idiot. That racket is for all court attacking players who hit flat and have a one-handed backhand. Well, I don't care because I just instantly lock in with this thing. I think the Prostaff 97 is more likely to be a switch or a daily driver for me than the VCORE 95. There's more power on tap. I like how the hoop is quite a bit stiffer. It gives you a little bit extra feedback, a little bit extra connection to the ball. You can really feel exactly where on the string bed you're connecting with that ball as well. It feels super precise. Now, I don't know exactly what it is with this Prostaff 97, but there's something about it that really feels fast and precise when you're swinging it through the air. Even though the VCORE 95 is a 95 and the Prostaff is a 97, I think the 97 kind of plays like a smaller racket in terms of the swing feel through the air. Plays and feels faster than the Prostaff 97 as well. It's easily my favorite 97 on the market. And all of that together just is starting to feel really special as every year that goes by, it feels like beams are getting thicker, head sizes are getting bigger, and we're losing a little of this kind of precision-based magic in favor for more power and spin magic, which is fine. Like, that's just the times changing, but we can also appreciate the times of old, right? Next up is the EZONE 100, and sadly I don't have any recent hitting footage of me trying this. I'll see if I can get some later this week, but it's one of the few rackets that I've really completely changed my opinion on. When I first reviewed the EZONE 100, it was like at the very beginning of the TennCom YouTube channel, and fast forward a couple years till now, and my tennis has changed quite a bit. Mainly I've changed my forehand take back, and my grip isn't as extreme as it used to be. It used to be like quite a full Western. I strike through the ball a little bit more. I use my legs more, less relying on the arm. So I'm not finding as much of these maneuverability issues as I did find with that EZONE 100. One thing I will admit is if I couldn't use this Rafa anymore, I think I would probably replace it with the EZONE 100. It's just about as connected as my Rafa, but the string bed is more controlled, so that's a little bit of a win. I feel more confident flattening out my shots and kind of going for it. I think it's probably, like, of all the power frames, the most solid, the most connected feeling out there, potentially even more solid feeling than my Rafa, though I haven't had to let it up to the same spec, so not exactly sure. The main reason that I didn't really consider switching to the EZONE 100 recently is that I just completely accidentally switched to the Pure Aero Rafa. I reviewed it for the video because I knew that Rafa's retirement was coming up, and then it kind of just didn't leave my bag. At the end of the day, I do still hit a heavier ball with the Rafa. I have more fun with the Rafa, so I sit here without any regrets. But if you're looking for like a power stick that actually feels really good, the EZONE 100 is where you have to go. Next up, a racket that I reviewed and don't want to sell ever. This is the Bolt 100L. Now this is really a special occasion frame. It's crazy. It's the craziest racket on this list. And you may think that's just a gimmick racket. That's so stupid. Well, no. Okay, maybe it's a bit of a gimmick, but the tech actually works. So if you don't know what the deal with these bolts are, they have a built-in suspension system. It's called zip strip, so that's what these big chunky bits are. At 3 and 9, and then at 12, basically what happens, the ball hits the string bed, pulls the strings back, so you get this trampolining, and that sucks these carbon strips in, and then as the ball is leaving, these carbon strips spring back and kind of launch that ball out a little bit harder. And it feels exactly how you would imagine it to feel, but if you haven't felt it, you still can't really imagine what it would feel like. It's like you hit it and you're like, oh yeah, that makes sense. That's what I thought it would feel like. You can't know until you try it, and it's an amazing feeling. It's so funny. It's one of the most powerful rackets, probably the most powerful racket. Not only is the swing weight and hitting weight pretty high because of the suspension system has weight, so it's got like over a 330 strung swing weight, even though it's the L model. That's one of the reasons I do like the L, because they get a bit cumbersome with heavier models. And it's just an absolute truck. Like, you can just spam flat balls and they're so hard. I hate playing against Simon, specifically when he's using a bolt, because his ball gets all this funky spin and he can hit it so hard sometimes, especially on the run. It's just hilarious. I love bringing these if I'm hitting with someone I haven't really hit with before and I want to maybe have the opportunity to lighten the mood. You know, sometimes you're meeting a new person and it feels kind of serious when you're just playing tennis, which can happen because some people take tennis really seriously, which I'm all for. Like, I love grinding out tough rally points, going to war in a set against someone who's really close to my level. But I think there should be room for having fun and memeing around with rackets like this. Everyone who I let try this laughs at least once because it is hilarious. I laugh the whole time. And again, I think that's what recreational tennis is all about. It's about enjoying yourself. And usually when people laugh, they're having fun. So the elusive fifth racket, what do you think the last racket is? Obviously my top two favorite rackets that you can buy new today are the Slinko Whiteout 1820 and the Babolat Pure Aero Rafa. They're the two rackets that I used most this year by far. I think the Whiteout is still super fun to use of all these kind of like 98s controlled power-ish 98s. I think it probably still feels the best. It's super connected. Stability to spin ratio is unbelievable. The Pure Aero Rafa is my favorite racket. That's why I use it. It's the one I have the most fun playing with. But I think that those are kind of cop-out answers. Like, I think you know that those are my two favorite rackets. So of course they're on the list. And then there's a lot of other really great rackets out there, ones that I would highly recommend, like the Babolat Pure Strike 98 or the Boom MP. But those rackets don't necessarily instantly put a smile on my face. The Gravity Pro, that's another racket that could have easily been on this list, but anytime I try the auxetic version, I'm just like, ugh. Why isn't this just the 360 Plus version? It's way better anyway. And then same thing with like the VCORE 100D, another racket I really like, but the game style that I have to play with that racket kind of makes me just think, I'd rather be using my Regna right now. And I don't think the Regna counts because you can't really just buy it. And then I also really like the Technofiber T-Fight ISO 305, but knowing that there's a new one coming on the horizon and that I am already testing it, makes me not think about the ISO at all. So those are my favorite rackets that you can buy new today. Let me know what your favorite rackets are in the comments below. And if you're not exactly sure where to start on your next racket, your next new favorite racket, I do offer personalized racket consultations through our website. We've helped about 200 people find their next racket already.